I swear, this stuff on Evers is beyond mind numbing. Look at this. Hold on. I'm gonna go look into this. This dude, and it's clear. It's clear that this dude does not work. Matt Kittle, and he sits in for Jay Weber sometimes. Matt Kittle did an article called The Absentee Governor, a review of Evers' official calendars. This is beyond nuts. Listen to this as I go over it. Governor Tony Evers has been accused of being an absentee governor. And I forgot who said that. I think it was Shea Sortwell. I think he called him an absentee governor. And because of an open records request, it's been a review of his calendars, and it shows that he basically works much less than a 40-hour work week. A good portion of his schedule apparently is redacted, apparently devoted to personal or political campaign time. How do you do your job if all you're worrying about is being reelected? It says, even in times of crisis, the governor has put in an average workday at best. March 13th, 2020, and that's the day he directed closing all K-12 public and private schools in Wisconsin in response to the outbreak of COVID-19. Evers began his unredacted official day at 9:30, and he didn't get to the Capitol until 2 p.m. And he was headed back to the executive mansion by 5 p.m. On March 23rd, as he was preparing to close non-essential businesses, Evers began his workday at 8:30, but he didn't make it into the Capitol until 1:15 p.m. And it said, but he was back at the executive residence around 5. That gap, I'm wondering what he's doing in that gap. That's something they actually should have looked into. I mean, I appreciate the article and all, but what was he doing? Was he doing government business? You never know. I just want to put that out there. It said he wrapped up his government business day at 6 with a cabinet call. On May 30th, 2020, as rioters ravaged downtown Madison, and I saw that because people I knew were just recording footage. The only item on Evers' calendar was a half-hour call with the federal leaders, and we know that a Black Lives Matter demonstration devolved into bedlam apparently that night. Rioters looted and smashed State Street stores, wrecked a police car, and set it on fire. And then Evers did call the National Guard at the city's request. Less than a month later, rioters came back to Madison again. They didn't get enough. Another Black Lives Matter anything but a peaceful protest as thugs damaged stores, ripped down iconic Capitol statues, badly beat a state senator, and firebombed Madison City County building. Now, really quick, this is all real. This is all real. This is no joke. This is what the governor of Wisconsin is doing on a daily basis. Let's fast forward to June 23rd, 20. The day the riot began, Evers' schedule remained relatively light. He ended his official scheduled business day at 3:15 while the city was burning. Oh, my God. We do know that after the riots broke out that night, Evers ordered Wisconsin State Capitol Police to stay inside the building as criminals were smashing state house windows. Texts and other communications from the governor and his staff on that long night of violence show the feckless executive had no plan to stop the mob. Same with the night the Kenosha riots began. See, this is why he's losing in the polls. This is why Tim is going to win. This aspect right here, because he literally showed no. And I did a video on this. I got a video on all the civil unrest. Well, not all, but some of the civil unrest in Milwaukee. And it's damning. I mean, ever since these guys took over, murder has gone up, crime in Milwaukee's gone up, car theft's gone up 250%. And I know people think that you can't blame the governor, but the problem with that is they believe in defunding the police. So far as in regard to the leadership, you have to blame the governor. Sunday, August 23rd, 2020 is redacted. We do know he sent out some incendiary political statement after an officer-involved shooting of a black man. The statement was filled with rush to judgment rhetoric. See, that's where it sounds a little. It starts to, we know where Matt is going with this, but he did not have all of the facts, and he did, and Rebecca Clayfish too. She was on the side of the BLM people on this one, saying like, "Oh wow, that was a little too harsh." And we're gonna talk about Rebecca at a later time. I got some stuff. I got some stuff about her on my mind, and I know people are gonna be like, "He is bashing Rebecca again." Whatever. I don't care what you think. What's the truth? What I'm about to say. The next day, as the riots literally burned out of control, Evers called it a day at 7 p.m. according to his calendars. If he was doing anything work-related at that time, his calendars did not say. A governor's schedule, okay, just so everybody understands, it's prone to variation. It can change. This job, the same job that Rebecca Clayfish wanted. It's a job. These people wanted the job. It should be, never mind. It pays $152,000 a year, and it comes with some long days, obviously. But in the terms of, and this is according to Matt Kittle, and in the terms of work week hours, Evers' schedule has remained consistent. Empower Wisconsin compared the governor's calendars for the first week in February in the years of 2019, 2020, 2021. This is historically a busy week for a governor. The legislature was in session, and Evers was preparing a budget in 2 of the years. He was also dealing with a pandemic and related problem. But Tony still kept apparently a light schedule. He averaged just under 36 hours of total official government work according to those calendars. For the week around February 15th, 2019, 2020 and 21, Evers averaged just 33 and a half hours of work per week. And for the last week of February, he worked on an average of just over 20 hours. On Wednesday, February 27, 2019, Evers put in just 6 hours of official business. According to his calendar, that included a 45-minute breakfast with Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes and a half hour of drive time back and forth to the between the executive mansion and the Capitol. He got home at 2:45 that day, and the rest of the day is redacted. The average Wisconsin worker works about 42 hours a week, and that's according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Why? And the average Wisconsin worker is paid a lot less than Tony Evers. Why is the guy at the highest chair in the state? Why is he working less than the guy that is an auto mechanic or a guy that is a plumber or a guy that is a doctor? I understand a doctor. Evers spends a lot of time on the road or in the air using the state plane. And a lot of that, apparently, according to Matt Kittle and what he's been told in his research, much of that travel has to do with the billions of dollars in federal COVID aid, and the Democrat has been able to use this as a kind of unregulated campaign slush fund. That apparently is his opinion. We don't know that. Tony Evers has handed out checks to organizations that's obviously covered by people like me and you, taxpayers of the United States of America. Despite his travels, Evers is generally back at the mansion, and Matt says in enough time to watch Wheel of Fortune. A few days before Christmas last year, Evers jumped on a state plane for a tour of the Potawatomi Community Center and a pickleball match. It's well known that Evers is a big pickleball fan. His official day ended at 2:35. Evers took the rest of the week off. He had on December 27th, he had a phone call with President Biden, who isn't known for burning midnight oil in his office. His calendar showed no activity on December 28th, just a quick COVID-19 response check-in call the next day. And you didn't even see the guy until January 3rd. The governor apparently had settled his brain for a long winter's nap. And this goes on. This is Matt Kittle's article. This is so telling. God, they go into Evers' dysfunctional Department of Workforce Development, how you can't get permits. People Evers has fired. And my man Shay Sortwell, and I talked to him a few weeks ago, he's led two committees investigating the problems at the DSPS. And they asked, how can Wisconsinites get their licenses when their leader is an absentee governor? That was right. Shay said that. He called him an absentee governor. I'll read a little bit more before we stop. This is intriguing. Meanwhile, a state audit underscored DWD's many failures, including the fact the agency did not resolve issues with claims, even though it had the information to do so, because DWD had not requested the information it needed from individuals and employers. Wow. And it goes on. This is excellent, Matt. Excellent work. And I mean, all I can say is it's time for Tim. It is. It's just time to go in a different direction. Tim could be a Democrat. It could be a Democrat running against a Democrat, and I would say the same thing. We are in a situation now where it's just time to move on from Tony Evers. Whether you like him or not, he has not really done much. And he will make the state less safe, less profitable, and less than. Next segment.